Latitudes and longitudes. The spinning of the earth on its axis from west to east provides two natural points, north and south pole. They form the basis for geographical grid. So what is a grid? It is a network of intersecting lines that are drawn for the purpose of fixing the locations of different features. The grid consists of two sets of horizontal and vertical lines, which are called parallels of latitudes and the meridians of longitudes, respectively. What is latitude? The parallels of latitude refers to the angular distance in degrees, minutes, and seconds of a point north or south of the equator. Lines of latitude are often referred to as parallels because they run parallel to each other. The word latitude is derived from the word latus, which means wide. Lines of latitudes are numbered from 0 degree at the equator to 90 degree north at the North Pole. Similarly, from 0 degree at the equator to 90 degree south at the South Pole. If parallels of latitudes are drawn at an interval of 1 degree, there will be 89 parallels in the northern and southern hemisphere each. The total number of parallels thus drawn will be 179, including the equator. Latitude lines run east-west, but they measure north or south of the equator, splitting the earth into northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. So for better visualization and illustration, this is animated part of latitude. And note that equator is the largest circle and is also called as Great Circle. Meridians of longitude. The word longitude is derived from the Latin word longus, which means length. The meridians of longitude refers to the angular distance in degrees, minutes, and seconds of a point east or west of the prime meridian. Lines of longitude are often referred to as meridians. The prime meridian is located at 0 degree. It is neither east nor west. So this red line denotes prime meridian. Lines of longitude begins at prime meridian. For example, 75 degree west is the 75 degree line of longitude west of the prime meridian. Similarly, 75 degree east is the line of longitude east of the prime meridian. The prime meridian, that is at 0 degree, splits the earth into western hemisphere and eastern hemisphere. Places located east of prime meridian have an east longitude address. Places located west of prime meridian have a west longitude address. Like this red line denotes prime meridian. So for better illustration, this is animated view of longitude. They are spaced farthest apart at the equator. So they measure distance east and west of the prime meridian. So this is how this angular distance is measured. So combination of latitudes and longitudes is called a grid. The equator. The equator is the longest of all lines of latitudes. It divides the earth in half and is measured as 0 degree. Of all parallels, latitude, equator alone makes a great circle. So what is the application of coordinates? North America is in northern hemisphere. Why? Because it is to the north of equator. North America is in the western hemisphere because it is to the west of prime meridian. So according to the two reference points, equator and prime meridian direction is decided. Locating a place is very similar to locating a point on typical graphs, which we have been using since our childhood. So for example, each point has two values, x value and y value. X value runs along horizontal line and y value runs along vertical lines. So each point is expressed as an x value and y value with x value written first. For example, 4, 7. So here x is 4 and y is 7. Similarly, 7, 5, where x is 7 and y is 5. Note that latitude is always written first, followed by longitude. Latitude and longitude must always include a direction. For example, 8 degree 4 minutes north or south of latitude. Similarly, 68 degree 7 east or west for longitude. So how to find a latitude? To find a latitude, for example, in our case 50 degree north, we must do three things. First, go to your starting line. What is the starting line? It is the equator. Second, determine which direction you must go, north or south. So for example, in our case, we are supposed to go north. So that means upwards. Determine the distance in degrees you must go. In our example, it is 50 degree. So we will go 50 degree up from equator. So reference point is equator. So this is how we will locate our latitude. To find a longitude line such as 45 degree east, you must do three things. So here, what is the reference point, or we can say what is the starting line or starting point? It is the prime meridian. So second step is determine which direction you must go, east or west. For example, in our case, to the eastern side, that is to right hand side. Then we will determine the distance. So any location north of the equator is a north latitude. So the grey area denotes north latitude. Any location south of the equator is south latitude. So this grey area is southern hemisphere, or it contains south latitudes because they are below equator. Similarly, any location west of the prime meridian is west longitude. So this grey portion includes all the west longitudes because they are to the left hand side of prime meridian, to the western side of prime meridian. Similarly, any location east of prime meridian is an east longitude. So the grey area is eastern longitudinal area. We can divide the earth into quadrants like northeast, where all latitudes are north and all longitudes are east, the grey portion. Southeast, where all the latitudes are south and all the longitudes are east. Southwest, where all the latitudes are south and all the longitudes are west. Northwest, where all the latitudes are north and all the longitudes are west. So let's compare latitudes and longitudes. Latitude is the angular distance of a point north or south of the equator as measured in degrees, whereas longitude is the distance along the equator measured in degrees. It is measured east or west of Greenwich from 0 degree to 180 degree. All latitudes are parallel, whereas longitudes converge at a point called pole. The latitudes from the equator to the poles are used to demarcate temperature zones. For example, 0 to 23.5 degree north and south are called as torrid zone. 23.5 degree to 66.5 degree north and south is called temperate zone. 66.5 degree to 90 degree is called frigid zone. And whereas longitudes are used to determine the local time with reference to the time at prime meridian. Let's take a quiz. Lines of latitudes are dash to the equator. They are parallel to the equator. Latitude lines give directions dash and dash of the equator. Latitudes, if you remember, they are the parallels. So that means they run north and south of the equator. There are dash degrees of latitude north and south of equator. "90. The equator is dash degrees. This is very easy, I suppose. 0 degree. Longitude lines connect the dash pole with the dash pole. Hint comes out from the pole because there are two poles, right? So it is north and south pole. The line of 0 degree longitude is called the dash. 0 degree longitude. So it is prime meridian. Longitude lines give directions dash and dash of the prime meridian. East and west. There are dash degrees of longitude on each side of the prime meridian, 180 degree. I hope you enjoyed it. So, as we have studied latitudes and longitudes, so let us find the position of India. So this is the northernmost latitude of India. Any idea about the dimensions of northernmost point of latitude of India? It is 37 degree and 6 minutes north, as India lies in the northern hemisphere. So latitudinal value is denoted by the direction north. Okay, what about southernmost latitude of India? Any guess? So it is 8 degree 4 minutes north. So you might be confused that directions are north and south. Why it is written here 8 degree 4 minutes north? Because with reference to the world, the location of India is in northern hemisphere. So even our southernmost point lies in the northern hemisphere. So now let's talk about westernmost longitude. Any guess? Okay, we lies in the eastern hemisphere or western hemisphere? Any idea? Yes, we lies in eastern hemisphere. So even our west direction will denote longitudinal value as east. And what is the dimension? It is 68 degree 7 minutes east. And what about easternmost longitude? It is 97 degree 25 minutes east. And this is our Tropic of Cancer, which passes approximately through the center of our country. Approximately. So just have a look at the states through which it is passing, and the latitudinal value of Tropic of Cancer is 23.5 degree north, and a half means 23 degree and 30 minutes north. So if I talk about length, the north to south length of India is 3,214 kilometers. Similarly, if I talk about east to west extent or west to east extent, in that case the length is, or we can say the width is 2,933 kilometers. Let's take another quiz. Longitudinal extent of India. So it is 68 degree 7 minutes to 97 degree 25 degree east. So name 5 important latitudes. You remember when we were in 4th or 5th class, we did 5 important latitudes? Yes, they are equator, Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn, Arctic Circle, Antarctic Circle. Name Indian states through which Tropic of Cancer passes. You saw the map? Yes, it is Gujarat, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, West Bengal, Tripura and Mizoram. Which picture shows lines of longitude? Longitude, remember? Yes, B. The vertical lines. Each meridian makes a dash circle, and of all parallels, dash alone makes a great circle. Yes, each meridian makes a semi-great circle, and equator alone makes a great circle. Okay, keep revising for better results. In our next video, we'll be covering longitude and its relation with time and daylight saving time.